Have you ever felt like something or someone is trying to communicate with you, but you can't quite hear them? Maybe it's not a voice, but a feeling. A whisper from a place beyond what we can see or touch. It's as if the air around you hums with a presence that's just out of reach, yet undeniably real. What if I told you this isn't just your imagination, but a connection to something much deeper, something that's been hidden in plain sight for centuries? Today we're about to explore the mysterious, often misunderstood link between spirit communication and other dimensions. This isn't just some spooky myth or New Age fantasy. It's a secret knowledge, woven into the fabric of ancient wisdom that has been concealed, distorted, and often outright forgotten by mainstream society. From the rituals of ancient civilizations to the whispered teachings of mystics, there's a hidden truth about the invisible worlds that lie just beyond the veil of our reality. What if the voices you hear in the quietest moments of your life aren't just echoes of your thoughts, but messengers from another dimension? Ancient texts, lost civilizations, and centuries of spiritual teachings have hinted at this truth. We are not alone, and there are realms beyond our own where the laws of time, space, and matter don't apply. And through these realms, communication with spirits, be it ancestors, guides, or beings from other planes, is not just possible, but an integral part of our spiritual evolution. But why then are these teachings so often buried, misinterpreted, or dismissed as fantasy? What if the real mystery lies not in the voices we hear, but in our inability to truly understand the channels through which they speak? This is what we'll uncover together. How spirit communication connects us to a greater reality, one where the boundaries of our world fade away, revealing a deeper cosmic connection that links us to everything that ever was and ever will be. Stay with me, because what we're about to unravel isn't just another paranormal tale. It's a journey into the heart of existence itself, where the invisible becomes visible, and the mysteries of the universe are closer than you think. Let's dive in. Throughout history, humanity has looked beyond the physical world for answers to questions that can't be explained by science or logic alone. In the earliest recorded civilizations, communication with spirits or beings from other realms was considered not only possible, but essential to understanding the mysteries of life and the cosmos. Whether it was through rituals, dreams, or visionary experiences, many ancient cultures believed that other dimensions, worlds that were invisible to the human eye, were intertwined with our own. The ancient Egyptians, for instance, used elaborate rituals and sacred texts to communicate with gods, ancestors, and the spirits of the dead. The Book of the Dead, one of the oldest and most famous texts in human history, was a guide for navigating the spiritual realms after death, filled with instructions on how to interact with deities and spirits. The Egyptians didn't view these encounters as mere superstitions. They believed these communications were a vital part of maintaining balance between the physical and spiritual worlds. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Pythagoras and Plato were deeply interested in the relationship between the soul and the cosmos. Plato's allegory of the cave presents a world where human beings are trapped in a shadow of reality, unable to see the true forms of things. But as Plato suggests, through deep contemplation and spiritual awakening, one can break free from the illusion and reach a higher level of understanding, where the veil between dimensions thins and we begin to perceive the true nature of existence. Similarly, the shamans of indigenous cultures across the world, whether in Siberia, Africa, or the Americas, have long claimed to possess the ability to cross over into other realms through altered states of consciousness. These shamans would enter a trance, sometimes induced by drumming, fasting, or plant medicines, and travel to the spirit world to receive guidance, healing, or knowledge. In their eyes, these dimensions were not otherworldly in the way we often think. They were real, living realms that existed in parallel to our own, and spirits inhabited them, ready to share wisdom with those who knew how to listen. Yet despite the wide presence of this belief in the spiritual world, over time, much of this knowledge was suppressed or misunderstood. As Western science and materialism took hold, the belief in spirit communication began to fade. The rise of modern religions and philosophies cast these ancient practices as primitive or heretical, pushing the understanding of other dimensions and spirit communication into the shadow. But this isn't just a matter of ancient cultures getting it wrong. In fact, many of the earliest spiritual teachings contain deep philosophical insights that modern science is now just beginning to catch up with. The concept of other dimensions or planes of existence wasn't just mystical thinking. It was a way of understanding reality that was far more complex and intricate than the simple material world we perceive. Why then has this knowledge been hidden or worse, misunderstood? Part of the answer lies in the tension between the materialistic worldview and the deeper spiritual insights of the ancients. For centuries, those in power have sought to control the narrative, fearing the power that comes from true spiritual knowledge. The wisdom of the ancients, if truly understood, could shift the very foundation of how we perceive reality and our place within it. And so what was once common knowledge, communicating with spirits, perceiving other dimensions, understanding the deeper interconnectedness of all things, has been obscured, either dismissed as fantasy or locked away in the vaults of esoteric traditions. But what if the answers buried in these ancient teachings are more relevant today than ever before? We're going to uncover the hidden truths behind these practices, the philosophies that shape them, and how this forgotten wisdom connects us to a greater understanding of the universe, an understanding that spans dimensions, time, and space. Stay with me. We're about to dive deeper into the heart of these teachings, and I promise the truth we uncover will change the way you see everything around you. Now that we've explored the historical and philosophical foundation of spirit communication and other dimensions, let's dig deeper into the core concepts behind these ancient practices. What exactly is meant by other dimensions? Are they places we can visit, or are they states of consciousness we can tap into? And how does spirit communication fit into all of this? At its heart, the concept of other dimensions suggests that reality is not a single, linear experience, but a multi-layered, interconnected system. Imagine the world as a vast tapestry, woven together by threads of different frequencies, energies, and dimensions. Each dimension represents a different layer of existence, some of which we can perceive with our senses, and some that lie just beyond our grasp. These realms are not bound by the same physical laws that govern our day-to-day lives. They exist outside of time, outside of space, yet they influence our world in ways we may not even realize. The ancient Greeks had a concept for this, the astral plane. The idea was that beyond the material world, there exists a non-physical realm made up of pure thought and energy. In this astral world, souls could move freely, without the limitations of time and space. This is why so many ancient cultures believed that the dead could travel to other realms, and why so many of them spoke of communicating with ancestors, gods, and spirits. Now let's consider how spirit communication ties into this. If these other dimensions are made of pure energy and consciousness, then communication with spirits becomes less about speaking to a ghost and more about tuning into a different frequency. Much like tuning a radio to catch a specific station, we too can learn to tune our minds to these otherworldly frequencies, enabling us to hear the whispers of those who exist on different planes of existence. Take the example of mediumship, a practice where individuals, often called mediums, act as a bridge between the physical world and the spiritual realm. The medium doesn't simply speak to the dead in the traditional sense, but instead enters a heightened state of consciousness, allowing their mind to attune to the frequencies of the spirits. In this state, they become conduits, able to translate the energies, emotions, and messages of the spirits into something the living can understand. This concept isn't limited to mediums. In fact, many people experience these otherworldly connections on their own, though they may not fully understand what's happening. Have you ever had a dream that felt more real than waking life? Or maybe you've experienced a sudden, overwhelming feeling of a loved one who has passed, as if they were there with you, guiding you or offering comfort. These moments might seem fleeting, but they are examples of your consciousness reaching out beyond the physical world, catching glimpses of these other dimensions. This leads us to an important realization. Communication with spirits is not as far-fetched as we might think. It's not a matter of summoning or contacting the dead in the way Hollywood movies often depict. Rather, it's about tuning into a different state of awareness, a state where the boundaries between the material and spiritual worlds begin to blur, and where the connection between dimensions becomes clear. In fact, this kind of communication happens more often than we realize. The trick is learning how to recognize it and trust the messages that come through. Sometimes they come as sudden insights, flashes of intuition, or a deep knowing that something beyond our understanding is guiding us. Other times they come as dreams, visions, or even physical sensations, like a chill running down your spine, or a sense of being watched. One of the most profound aspects of this communication is that it is often not verbal at all. Spirit communication, especially in higher dimensions, transcends language. It's not about words or even thoughts. It's about pure feeling and energy. This is why many who claim to communicate with spirits speak of feelings of love, peace, or profound understanding. The messages they receive are encoded in emotions, sensations, and vibrations that exist outside the realm of words. But why is this so important? What does this mean for us? It's a profound shift in how we understand existence. If we can learn to recognize and interpret these messages, whether through dreams, feelings, or moments of clarity, we open ourselves to a deeper connection with the universe. We begin to see that life, death, and all the dimensions in between are part of a continuous cycle of growth and evolution. We are not separate from the universe. We are intrinsically connected to it in ways we cannot fully comprehend. But there's a catch. The more we try to analyze these experiences using the limited tools of the material world, the logical, linear, and scientific mind, the harder it becomes to truly understand what's happening. The key is to let go of the need for control and to trust the process. By embracing the mystery rather than trying to define it, we can begin to perceive the hidden truths of our existence. So what does all this mean for you, the seeker of knowledge? How can you tap into these dimensions and begin to communicate with the spirits and energies that reside there? Well, before we dive into practical techniques, let's first explore some of the deeper, hidden meanings behind this phenomenon and why it holds such importance in the larger scope of human consciousness. Stay tuned, because in the next section we're going to unlock even more layers of understanding. Now that we've explored the basic concept of spirit communication and its connection to other dimensions, let's dive deeper. What does it really mean to communicate with spirits, and how does this interplay with the mysteries of the universe? What are the hidden layers of truth that many miss when approaching this topic? First, let's tackle a common misconception, the idea that spirits are out there somewhere, detached from our reality. Many people believe that spirits exist in some distant ethereal realm, far removed from our physical world. But ancient teachings and modern metaphysical thought suggest otherwise. The truth is, spirits or energies from other dimensions are not somewhere out there. They are intertwined with our world in ways we can't yet fully perceive. The realm of spirits is not a far-off place, but a parallel dimension that coexists with the physical world. It's layered just beyond the veil of our senses, a vibrational frequency that we simply don't have the tools to access with our usual senses. Imagine that your physical body is like a radio, tuned to the frequency of the material world. But just like a radio can tune into different channels, your mind and spirit can tune into the channel of the spiritual realms. where the energies of spirits and other dimensions reside. It's not a matter of crossing over, but rather tuning in. This idea connects closely with quantum physics, which suggests that there are multiple dimensions of reality, each vibrating at different frequencies. What if spirit communication is simply our consciousness tapping into these higher frequencies? What if, by shifting our awareness, we can open ourselves to these dimensions and their energies? This isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It's beginning to align with what we know about the universe at a scientific level. Take, for example, the phenomenon of déjà vu. It's an experience many people have, where they feel as if they've lived a moment before, even though they know it's the first time they've experienced it. Some argue that this is a glitch in our perception of time, but others believe it's evidence of parallel dimensions or different timelines interacting. In this view, déjà vu is a moment where your consciousness briefly slips into a higher dimension, where the line between past, present, and future is not as fixed as it seems in the material world. Similarly, other strange experiences, like hearing voices, sensing presences, or having vivid dreams of deceased loved ones, could be your mind crossing into a higher frequency. These are moments when the veil between worlds becomes thin, and the spirits from other dimensions can reach through to offer guidance, comfort, or insight. They are not ghosts in the traditional sense. They are simply beings, energy, or consciousness that exist on a different vibrational level, able to momentarily intersect with your own. One of the most fascinating aspects of spirit communication is that it transcends the human experience of time. In the spiritual realms, time is not linear. The past, present, and future all coexist, and the concept of death as we understand it doesn't apply. This is why many people who've had near-death experiences report encountering deceased loved ones who exist in a timeless space, an eternal now. Spirits, as we understand them, may not be dead at all. They may simply exist in a different dimension, one that operates outside of our perception of time. But this doesn't mean that spirit communication is only for the afterlife. It's also a powerful tool for those who are still alive, a way to tap into deeper knowledge and wisdom that transcends the physical world. By learning to communicate with the energies of these other dimensions, we can access a greater understanding of our purpose in this life, our connections to others, and even the nature of the universe itself. Now let's address another key point: the potential dangers of spirit communication. Just because a dimension exists doesn't mean it's all light and wisdom. Just as there are benevolent spirits, guides, and energies, there are also darker entities that dwell in the lower vibrational realms. These are the energies you want to avoid, those that manipulate, deceive, or lead you astray. This is why many ancient traditions emphasize the importance of spiritual protection when engaging with other dimensions. It's not enough to simply open your mind and let anything come through. You must be discerning, knowing which energies align with your highest good and which do not. To navigate these realms safely, ancient traditions developed a set of practices, such as setting intentions, using protective symbols, and creating sacred space that helped ensure that the spirits you communicated with were of the highest vibration. These practices are still used today by spiritual practitioners, shamans, and mystics to ensure safe, meaningful communication with other dimensions. So what's the hidden truth here? It's that spirit communication isn't just a matter of speaking to the dead. It's about entering into a dynamic relationship with the very fabric of existence itself. The energies, entities, and spirits that exist in other dimensions are not separate from us. They are part of a vast, interconnected web of consciousness that spans across all time and space. When we open ourselves to these communications, we are tapping into a deeper understanding of reality, one where the boundaries of the physical world dissolve, and we can begin to see the interconnectedness of all things. But there's more, much more, that we haven't yet explored. In the next section, we'll dive into some of the most practical ways you can start to tap into these higher frequencies, communicate with spirits, and unlock the wisdom of other dimensions. Trust me, what's coming next will change the way you look at the world and your place in it. Stay with me. Now that we've uncovered the theory behind spirit communication and the relationship between dimensions, let's move into more practical territory. You may be asking yourself, how do I actually start connecting with these other realms? How can I communicate with spirits or higher energies in a way that's meaningful and safe? The truth is, it's not about waiting for some grand mystical event to happen. You don't need to be born with special abilities or be someone chosen to have these experiences. Spirit communication is available to anyone who is willing to put in the work and approach the practice with intention. The first and most important step in this process is meditation. Meditation is absolutely foundational to any spiritual practice, but it's especially essential when it comes to learning to connect with the higher realms. Why? Because meditation quiets your mind and helps you tune into subtler energies and frequencies. Imagine that your mind is like a radio. In your everyday life, you're tuned into the channel of the material world, dealing with the hustle and bustle of life. But to access higher realms, you need to tune into a different frequency. Meditation creates the space to make that shift. To begin, find a quiet place where you can sit comfortably without distractions. Close your eyes and start by focusing on your breath. As you inhale, feel your body relax, and as you exhale, release any tension or distractions. Gradually, you'll begin to feel your mind quieting, allowing you to slip into a deeper state of awareness. As you settle into the rhythm of your breath, begin to imagine a soft, glowing light above your head. This light represents your connection to the higher realms, to the energy of spirit. Visualize it growing brighter, more vibrant as you continue to focus. From here, you can invite in the energy of any spirit or guide you'd like to connect with. This could be a loved one who has passed, an ancestor, or even a higher aspect of yourself. The key is to set an intention for the communication. What guidance do you seek? What wisdom are you hoping to receive? Don't rush the process. Let your mind stay open but calm, like a listener tuning into a distant radio station. The more you meditate, the more your connection to these other dimensions will strengthen. Over time, you'll begin to feel subtle shifts in energy or notice whispers, flashes of insight, or a deeper sense of knowing. Another powerful method of spirit communication is through your dreams. The subconscious mind is an incredible tool for connecting with other realms, and dreams are one of the clearest ways spirits communicate with us. Perhaps you've had a dream that felt more vivid, more real than the waking world. Maybe it involved deceased loved ones, a sense of comfort, or moments of clarity. These kinds of dreams are often messages from other dimensions. They can provide guidance, healing, or answers to questions you might not even know you're asking. Before you go to bed, try setting an intention to connect with spirits or energies. You might ask for guidance on a specific issue, or simply seek wisdom from your ancestors. Keep a journal by your bedside, so you can immediately jot down any dreams, feelings, or symbols you encounter when you wake up. Even if the dreams don't make sense at first, continue writing. Over time, you'll start noticing patterns and gaining clarity on the deeper messages being communicated to you. This practice helps you tune into the symbolic language of the universe, which is a key part of spirit communication. Divination tools like tarot cards, astrology, and even runes are also incredibly effective ways to access messages from other dimensions. These tools allow us to tune into the universe's symbolic language and gain insights from the energies at play in our lives. Tarot cards, for example, represent archetypes, universal energies that hold specific meanings. When you lay out a spread, the cards form a story, revealing hidden messages about your spiritual journey. To start using tarot effectively, approach it with a clear question or intention. Before you draw any cards, take a few deep breaths and ground yourself. Focus on your connection to your intuition and ask for guidance. The cards will offer insights based on the energies and vibrations they represent. Astrology works in a similar way. using the positions of celestial bodies to reveal hidden patterns in your life. Your birth chart is like a cosmic map, showing you the energies and influences that shape your spiritual journey. Understanding the movements of the planets and their impact on your chart can provide deeper clarity on the messages you're receiving from other dimensions. Studying your chart alongside transiting planets can offer valuable insights into the energies surrounding you at any given moment. Protection is something that's often overlooked, but is vital when working with spirit communication. As you begin to open yourself up to these realms, it's essential to keep your energy grounded and shielded from any negative or low vibrational forces. You can ground yourself by spending time in nature, walking barefoot on the earth, or simply visualizing roots extending from your feet deep into the ground, connecting you to the earth's energy. This practice helps you stay centered and connected to the physical world as you explore the spiritual dimensions. In addition to grounding, protecting yourself is crucial. Visualize a bright golden light surrounding you, forming an energetic shield that keeps negative energies at bay. This light can be whatever color resonates with you, but gold or white is often associated with divine protection. As you create this shield, set the intention that only positive, loving energies are welcome to enter your space. This practice ensures that your spirit communication remains high vibrational and safe. Lastly, one of the most important aspects of spirit communication is trusting your intuition. As you begin to receive messages, whether through dreams, symbols, or subtle impressions, don't second-guess yourself. Trust what you feel. Spirit communication is not always clear-cut. It often comes in the form of a deep knowing, an unexpected insight, or an emotional response. The more you practice, the more you'll learn to trust your intuitive abilities, which will guide you as you navigate the spiritual realms. Spirit communication doesn't require you to be special or have any extraordinary gifts. It's available to all of us, as long as we are willing to put in the effort and trust the process. With patience, practice, and an open heart, you can begin to tune into the other dimensions that exist just beyond the veil, tapping into a wealth of knowledge, guidance, and wisdom that will transform your life. Are you ready to begin? The dimensions are waiting and the spirits are ready to speak. The real question is, are you willing to listen? As we reach the end of this journey, I want you to remember one key thing. Spirit communication and the exploration of other dimensions is not just about accessing mystical knowledge or seeking answers. It's about shifting your perspective on reality itself. What we've explored together, the idea that there are parallel dimensions, the concept that spirits and energies exist just beyond our perception, can change the way you view the universe. It's a reminder that there is more to existence than what we see, hear, or touch in the material world. When you begin to open yourself to these higher realms, you start to understand that the world around you is alive with energy, vibrations, and messages from other dimensions. Each encounter with the spiritual realm, whether through dreams, meditation, or divination, becomes an opportunity to expand your consciousness and gain deeper insights into your own life, your path, and the universe at large. The beauty of this journey is that there are no strict rules, no right or wrong way to connect. It's deeply personal. You might find that some practices resonate with you more than others. Perhaps meditation feels most natural. Or maybe you'll discover that tarot speaks to you in a profound way. Whatever methods you choose, the most important thing is to stay open, curious, and discerning. Always protect your energy, trust your intuition, and be respectful of the spiritual forces you engage with. Spirit communication doesn't require any special gifts, and you don't have to wait for a sign or some cosmic event to happen. You already have the tools within you, your intuition, your awareness, and your connection to the universe. The question is whether you're willing to explore those tools and trust the process. If you take the time to tune in, to quiet your mind and open your heart, you'll begin to experience these hidden realms in a way that can bring deep transformation. healing and understanding. The universe is always speaking to us whether we're aware of it or not. Spirits, energies, and messages from other dimensions are constantly trying to reach us, but it's up to us to listen, to open ourselves to that communication. The more you practice, the clearer the messages will become, and the more you'll uncover the wisdom that has been hidden in plain sight all along. So I leave you with this thought. The boundaries between dimensions are not as rigid as they may seem. They are fluid, interconnected, and ready to be discovered. Your journey into these realms of spirit and energy is just beginning, and the more you explore, the more you'll find that the universe is not just something you're living in, it's something you are a part of, deeply and intrinsically. Are you ready to take the next step, to tune into the higher frequencies, to hear the voices that have always been there waiting for you to listen? The other dimensions are out there, and now you know how to begin your journey into them. Let the exploration begin.